The legalization of marijuana got one step closer to become a reality at the federal level today. The House voted in favor of the Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement Act, that's the MORE Act. And to talk more about this, I'm joined by Kim Rivers, the CEO of Trulieve, a top-performing cannabis company. Thank you for joining us, Kim. Can you break down the details of this act and how important it is to see it passed at the federal level?
Sure, absolutely. So the MORE Act, of course, passed the House today, which we were very excited to see.
Ever since the powers that be realized that there were creatures on this earth that were naturally tied into the earth, that was on the rhythm of the earth, that knew how to plan and map out their entire existence based on the rhythms of the earth, when they realize the potential to tap into the natural ability of the creatures of this land, natural ability to have an affinity and be one with the earth, as soon as they realized that, they started studying it. Okay? It is a well-known, little-known secret that all across the globe, in remote parts of the world, and in it, including America, at that time, centuries ago, the inhabitants of the land always knew what plants garnered what reactions. Some say that the spirit of the plant chose them, and that there were certain select individuals that were chosen before time to be able to speak and translate what the plants were saying. And sometimes it had a lot to do with appearance. Sometimes it had a lot to do with the locale. Sometimes it had a lot to do with the season. And they begin to understand the language of plants, because plants do have a language. And they would know when you should reap a particular plant and what medicinal value it had and what nutritional value it had. And you remember, this is at a time when they didn't have the internet. See, now we have this speedy app that you can download and take a picture, and it will pretty much tell you what plant you are looking at. You don't even have to be a medicine man anymore to know that. Okay, I'm saying all that to say this. As soon as they realized they could monetize this function, they started going into the rainforest and stealing from the traditional medicine men the knowledge of what plants were used to heal. And they took that information, synthesized it, and gave it to the public. And that is why all of our medicine seems to heal us but harm us. There's always a horrible side effect to it because it is just synthetic. Okay? It is 1,000 times removed from the original plant source. So once the government figure out how to make money off of something, then they go and make the regulations to support the legality of the said something. Case in point, with the legalizing of weed. So as we all know, we probably all know someone that was locked up for a weed charge. And certainly when you think of weed, you think of something that is non-harmful, something that makes you happy, something that makes you hippie and trippy and makes you have munchies. Okay? So anyway, this did affect a lot of low-income black households, black and brown and poor households, no matter what colors they were. Okay? Because those people always getting locked up for having weed or dealing weed. You got caught with weed, it was almost a death sentence. So they got all these people locked up over this really innocent charge, and now they're trying to pass the bills to legalize it. Why? Because they make money off of it. So you're going to have all the dispensaries open all over the states, and they're all going to be owned by people that are tied into the industry, okay? Because what's in this new weed that they're going to start dispensing and have already started in some places, like DC, for example, I know already has the government weed that's rolled out. By the way, it's not regulated, so God knows what you guys are smoking in this GMO weed. This is not the same weed that people were smoking in the 1960s and 70s. I'm gonna tell you that now. Even though the government has always experimented with our food and plants, and I'm sure in order for us to get to the point we are today, they had already started experimenting with this weed, probably in the 1940s. So they've had a good amount of time to figure out the effects of this GMO weed on its citizens. So anyway, they're legalizing it so they can make money off of it. But guess who is still going to be at the detriment of this? The people that are locked up. That's right. All of the people that got locked up because of weed-related charges, they're not going to be let out because they're legalizing weed. Most states don't even have on their books, like, the ability to get off on a charge if it's been, revised while you were locked up. They're not doing it. So all these people continue to rot in jail while the government makes all of this money off of funding GMO weed. So first of all, I don't want to even be like on a tirade of, the weed is GMO. We know it's GMO. It's probably weed killer in the weed, just like it's weed killer in the wine. As y'all know, I love my wine. So even though I don't smoke anything, I do recognize that GMO is in my food and in my wine. So I'm not here to say don't smoke the weed, it's GMO. Y'all already know it's GMO. That's why everyone is so uptight these days. Though back in the day when people were smoking weed, everybody was just relaxing, chilling, all lovey-dovey and stuff. It's not like that anymore. Everyone's violent because of the ingredients in this GMO weed. Clearly, y'all know that. But whatever. Everyone's grown. People do what they want to do. You want to convince yourself you're smoking ganja? Go right ahead. Anywho, I just want to talk about the hypocrisy of the government, though, for trying to pass these bills to decriminalize weed when they got all of these innocent people locked up as criminals for weed. That's right. All of the people that were black, brown, and in lower economic neighborhoods were locked up, some for life. They were given life sentences for the selling weed. And they have companies today that are making millions off of legalized weed, like Acreage Holdings. Y'all should look into that. As a stock option, look at the companies that benefit from the selling of legalized weed, okay? So not just, the obvious ones, but look behind, what goes into making up a dispensary. And whatever that is, also look at the stocks of those companies, okay? Some of these companies don't exchange on the stock, so you can't always buy stock in them on the stock exchange. So you can't always buy stock in them, but you can buy stock in the companies that support the venture. Okay, so if you think of a dispensary, what do you have in there? Probably glass, probably plastic, probably something wooden, maybe aprons, gloves, whatever it is. Just think logically of what makes up that type of business, and then that's how you know what industry to throw your money behind to get some of this stock, to get some of this money that the government and all of their cronies are making from decriminalizing something they've locked our people up for life for. No mistake, people. This is a war on the people. We have been in war. War has been declared upon all the citizens of the entire world. And the rich get richer in every war. Look at any war. Look at who manufactured the weapons, the steel manufacturers, right? Whatever they used, whatever supplies were needed, those were the people that got richer from the wars, and it's still happening, and it's happening right now. So if you want to get behind, you want to get ahead of this curve, you're going to have to like play how they're playing, okay? You want to set up wealth for your future children and your children's children to establish that legacy. You're going to have to figure out how to get ahead of the curve like they are doing. So decriminalizing weed, get on early, get in on it early, okay? Because you know, once it's saturated, then it's going to be on to the next thing. All right, I think that's my rant for today. Seems like I need to smoke some weed. I'm all choked up. I don't smoke though, but it seems like I need some because I'm riled up behind this subject. I really just want us all to be financially free. Like, honestly, every day I'm racking my brain, like, what can I do to put myself in position so that my children's children are going to be good? And not only they're going to be good, they're going to know how to continue, right? And not be slaves to an industry. That's my time for today. Let me know what y'all think about this topic. Until next time, Om Shrim Brezi.